Good Wednesday, meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center right now with a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until about 5:30 for portions of Nassau, Brantley, Camden, and Glenn counties there. Seeing a lot of thunderstorm activity around I-95 right now, so make sure that you're inside Roy in this type of situation. Roy want to be away from windows as well. I know a lot of folks probably driving there on that evening commute there along that interstate. So just not the greatest conditions. I mean, it's not a tornadic situation, but it is preferable that you're inside and away from windows if you can be right now, as things are pretty rough out there. As we kind of zoom on in a little bit, you can see where we're talking all this electrical energy. This warning's for northeastern Nassau, Camden, southwestern Glenn, and east central Brantley counties until about 5:30, it would seem. So that's kind of the storyline right there. I know, kind of just going through things here, just to monitor the situation. We've had some other warnings today. Haven't had enough with those to come on. A little bit of an issue around Live Oak based on some storm reports, but this could be the strongest here. What we've seen is looking to be the strongest that we've seen so far today across their area, with severe thunderstorms located along a line extending from near Waverly to near St. Mary's, moving northeast at 15 miles an hour. So 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and quarter size hail. St. Mary's, Kingsland, Fernandina Beach, Woodbine, over toward Keens Bay, Bay, Hewley, Waverly, Tarboro, Harriet's Bluff, and Dover Bluff. So just for your protection, try to be in the interior room if you can on that lowest floor and away from windows. So there's something to kind of keep in mind here as we're looking at things, as we're monitoring the scenario. And I'll go over to velocity. You see quite a bit of wind energy around Kingsland and that area there. I know just east of the interstate, seeing quite a bit of wind issues that could have some damage taking place there. And just continuing to track the overall scenario here. Let me go ahead and switch on to a broad perspective, I would say, at this point in time. We're able to kind of give you a better look at things. I know some areas looking a little bit better. I know there's a heat advisory in play, though, too, for some of our zones. And look at, some of these temperature readings still across the region as a whole. I know Albany's at 98 degrees, so it is very warm there. 97 towards Cecil. So kind of giving you an idea of what's going on here. And definitely important to try to let you know exactly what is happening. I'm just trying to give you the latest updates. And now we'll go ahead and switch back on over to our other mode and kind of see what we're doing with there as we kind of get on to a perspective of the region. You see a little bit of breezy conditions here on some of our sites, and I mean downright windy there toward like Duval County, where we had nasty area of storminess earlier on. So again, kind of telling that story there, trying to let you know exactly what's happening. I know there's been some organized severe weather potential out toward the west. There's no formal severe weather risk in our area. You can see further out toward the west, there is a severe thunderstorm watch in play, though. So that's in that pinkish color there, kind of giving you the idea on what's going on. And now look at some of the temperature readings toward like South Carolina, the triple digits there with the actual air temperature. So that's impressive. And the heat index, well, that's not much of a factor to add to it there, but you can see in our neck of the woods, and switch back over, I mean, some of these values over 100. I know that kind of definitely tells a story here. Some nasty heat for sure. Let me go ahead now and see where I want to go with this. I think I'll go over to our last 12 hours on the rainfall amounts. You can kind of see here north Live Oak there, 2-3 inches of rain. As we kind of look at things, they had that storm as I was alluding to earlier on. Some of these light blues west of Gainesville, that's over an inch of rain there today. Stark, not as much so far today, maybe around a quarter of an inch of precip in town, according to radar estimates. And just continuing to watch things. I know, again, you have the accident in Georgia, but mainly this one cluster along I-95. Doesn't look quite as strong as it did a little while ago. The bad if everybody see what I'm talking about. You had some of the different indicators on there. Like the hail indicator was a little bit bigger in terms of the potential size with that. I know, keep in mind, sometimes it can overestimate things, but it can still kind of give us an idea for how dangerous and intense a storm is. I know, not in our area, but as I move the map up, you do see 100 degrees at Hazelhurst and 100 toward areas like McRae there and 101 in Reedsville. So that heat definitely telling the story. I know, as we kind of go on over right now towards some other information. Let me put up some of our model guidance here just to try to give an idea of what we could expect. I'll go to the kind of home view per se, and then we'll kind of progress this on out a bit. And you do see it's not doing the greatest job, but it's doing okay. And it seems to indicate maybe not too many more storms tonight, maybe a little bit toward the first coast we see. But that's just one idea of what could happen. I see there was a gust of 44 at 5:01 at the Welcome Center in toward Georgia there. Let me go ahead and see what else we have here. I know, going through some stuff here in the information sources, and let me go ahead and kind of check some things here. I know, just always important to give you an idea of what's going on to protect you, your friends, and your family. Zooming back in towards southeast Georgia, I know, for 995, just kind of tracking things there, trying to give you the latest updates, obviously. Trying to give you the latest information to protect you, your friends, and your family. I know, it's interesting. I know, looking back at some of the data yesterday, we had some triple-digit temperatures in the region yesterday. Here where we're at, our viewing circle, those are really telling the story. I mean, those were impressive. 101 officially on the climate report at Tallahassee yesterday. 103 in Valdosta. This isn't the heat index we're talking about, the actual air temperatures. And 103 in Albany. So those are some impressive values there for sure. That was what it was looking like on that Tuesday there. As we kind of give you the very latest information on what's happening here, on what's going on. I know that tied the record 101 in Tallahassee. That was set previously back in 1931 and 1988. So again, kind of telling that story there. Zooming back out a little bit, we're watching the activity. I just got to be really careful in these conditions here when you do have these warnings in play. Just whenever thunder roars, even with this lightning around, you want to go indoors, obviously. Very important to do that. I know. Just keeping an eye on the overall scenario here. Let me go over to velocity. Zooming in a little bit, you see just northeast of Woodbine. Little weak rotation, but nothing overwhelming there, I would say. I mean, just not overwhelming at all. The winds down around Kingsland, still in that 40 range or so, possibly. Some heavy downpour. This is going to cause some flooding, it would seem, in toward that area. Just got to keep that in mind, at least in the urban areas, you would think. If you kind of look there, just northwest of Becker, over 2 inches in the last hour. And that kind of tells a story. So kind of look at some of this information, an inch or two, but more is falling as we speak. The numbers are adding up continuously here. I know in North Charlton County, around the Stephen Foster State Park, there's a gust to about 40 there a little while ago. You see it kind of as we look here. And I thought it would be one of those two, but maybe it's another sensor that the source hadn't loaded in yet. Yeah, so you see a boundary there too, so be interesting to see how the boundary kind of interacts with things. That's what you have to watch for this time of year too. I know, I'm just backing it up to kind of scrub here to see exactly what's going on. I know you're watching this here and trying to get an idea on what's going on. I know it'll be interesting again to watch around Folkestone. I know that wind, I was thinking about maybe wrapping it up pretty soon, but that wind does not want to die down there. north of Kingsland. We're just getting the signature movement. The highest it's been on this to 57 miles an hour. So this is some pretty nasty sustained activity here around that I-95 corridor. I was kind of seeing indications of that. That's why we jumped on, but I wasn't expecting it to last quite maybe this long here. We haven't seen this as much so far toward our summertime period. I know officially summer kind of just started, but what I mean, so the afternoon storms, they haven't been very sustained looking. This looks a little bit more formidable here and make it another warning. We haven't been getting too many second warnings here with storms lately, but this may get another one depending on how things progress over the next several minutes. The warning set to expire at 5:30, but that may get an extension here. We'll wait and see. I know that's some pretty formidable wind there. Just right, you see Kingsland, you see off to the northwest. Granted, it looks like a pretty rural area, thankfully. But let's kind of look here where that could be tracking. I know you saw that one pocket of wind in the interstate earlier. And you see now this pocket of wind it maybe headed toward Woodbine. It may not make it all the way there that strong, but it's definitely interesting to see there on the velocity signature. So again, that's definitely something to take note of here across portions of our area. Again, just trying to give you the very latest here on what's going on. Again, I'll go ahead and zoom out now. You see some strong storm accent further off toward the west there. That's where the other report came in, by the way, 40 or so miles an hour. So some strong storms there. We have this boundary. Again, this may, because these are strong like they are, it may not really do much more than just eventually really cause stuff to weaken on out. I mean, maybe it gives a quick uptick in intensity. You never know. This is what makes things so tricky this time of year. Just continuing to track the scenario here. I know, just trying to give you the very latest. I'll go ahead and go back to the other perspective. You don't see much around like Stark, for instance, or 92 where I'm at here east of Stark. And you see 97 at Cecil. Then you have the severe thunderstorm warning toward the north here, toward the I-95 corridor. Now we had some stuff get really intense there. Yeah, we were looking at things on reflectivity around areas in the vicinity of Live Oak. Not quite enough for me to come on with that one, that cluster. This here, even in a more populated area here, and you know, right during rush hour, and we did have this accident here. It is looking a little more sustained, but it may be in a situation where it'll start to weaken on off here. You would think pretty soon, because it's the overall setup. May not be able to sustain this too much longer, but again, continuing to watch things north of Kingsland. They may, just because of that signature, they may have to do another warning. You see that area of yellow there. That is indicative of winds to about 57 miles an hour, according to radar technology, the velocity there. So, gotta keep that in mind. I know, watching things there very carefully for sure as we're looking there just north of the Florida-Georgia border. So, again, kind of giving you an idea of what's going on. Again, severe thunderstorm warning in effect there. You see that heavy rain, obviously, in that area. I just got to keep that in mind. Very important to keep that in mind as we're looking at the situation. Trying to give you the latest information to protect you, your friends, your family here, obviously, as they kind of go through everything. Again, just trying to give you the latest here. Yeah, it's definitely warm pattern here, Christina. Watching there on Facebook, definitely just downright hot, and in some of these areas, you know, when you have the rain, I mean, then after the rain, it gets even more sticky feeling out there. So, again, kind of telling the story. I know, got a question about Southwest Florida, around Charlotte County. And they're not in our area, but I'll just show you the quick radar down there, and you're not seeing anything right there in Charlotte County. And so that's a pretty clear picture there. as we're looking at things right now. There's a general risk of thunderstorms down there, though. So this time of year, you always have to kind of start really watching things. But right now, nothing ongoing in that part of the state. So, okay, new warning coming on out now for parts of Nassau, Brantley, Camden, and Glen till 6 o'clock. Okay, that's the latest information coming on down. It's coming on down from the Weather Service. You see that wind there north of Kingsland. Yeah, there's your new polygon now. So at 5:28, a severe thunderstorm is located near Kingsland, moving east at 5 miles an hour. So a very slow mover there for sure. And then I know as we continue to watch things here, continue to track. I know some other comments are coming on in. Yep. Appreciate everybody watching here in the Weather Center. Just thanks so much for tuning in and trusting me here on this Wednesday, June 26th of 2024. So, again, I'm just going to continue to watch the situation here. Just try to give you the latest updates. Again, you see that yellow? That's not going away. That's very strong wind there. It's showing up and, you know, right under the rain. So a good chance of reaching down toward the surface there as we're looking at things in parts of Camden County. Again, trying to give you the latest updates here. Trying to give you the latest. I know, always on top of things in terms of our 62 counties, and Camden there is where it seems to be the worst right now. I know we're always on for any tornado warning storm, but on for severe thunderstorm warnings as needed, and then we post that information if we don't need to come on over on Facebook there, Casey Cloud WX, Cloud Weather, and then Twitter /exit Cloud Casey. So just trying to give you the very latest there in that regard. Again, just trying to give you the latest updates here. I know, not seeing it now here in our area in Bradford County, but I know last night, as we were looking at things, this is from last night, I'm going to just really quick here. We had that lightning around, quite a bit of electrical energy that was visible there pretty late into the nighttime hours. So I just wanted to give you a look at the back at that real quick. Again, just really quickly looking back at some of that electrical energy here, that was telling that story. So again, as we get down toward Camden County, it's not that dark, but you have that electrical energy in your area right now, kind of telling that weather story here. So again, I'm just trying to give you the very latest on all of that. Again, you can see here that wind. Hopefully, the next signature. Oh, there we go. There's your next scan. So now signature here is weaker per se. So the next signature reading is weaker. So that's some good news. That makes me think that there's a chance that we could get maybe one little more burst of wind out of this. But then this will probably start to be a lesser issue here. So we'll probably wrap it pretty soon. I may give another scan just to be safe. This didn't ramp up on us here too crazy again. But in this pattern, I would suspect this would start to kind of weaken down some. Still could be dangerous here. Still could have tree limbs falling. Still could have trees falling even in some cases here. And this includes a lot of I-95. So don't lay your guard down by any stretch. But this isn't a tornado warning situation, so we don't have to stay on here continuous. But wanted to kind of stick with this why it looked like the throat was a little bit more maximized there, but you'll be able to see. I'll back it up real quick. And so right there, that was pretty blatant, that signature there around US 17, and then that kind of faded off some as we're looking at things, as we're tracking things. So still gonna be careful. Still could be some pretty strong wind in here, no doubt, but hopefully not quite as nasty here as what it was looking like here a few moments ago. So that's kind of the storyline there as we try to give you the very latest on the scenario. Again, I'm just trying to let you know here what's happening This is still sitting over that one area. There's a flooded advisory, I believe, in play here. Or have they actually issued that yet? Let me double check. Let me see if they actually issued that here. If not, I would think it'd be coming here in pretty short order. I know we get these to pop up a bunch this time of year, so it's not, I'm talking about flood advisory, so it's not easy to keep tabs on all those when those come on out. Not yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if they issue one here toward this I-95 corridor area. I know that's quite a bit of running 1 hour there, 2.5 inches just west of 95. And then just kind of looking here, you see some yellows. I mean, over an inch, but it's adding up pretty quickly with these heavy downpours here, like in areas around Woodbine, for instance. So again, just gotta be careful. Some small hail mixing in as well. Weather Service saying it's probably just under severe limit at 3/4 of an inch here at the maximum. Haven't really been getting anything too crazy. The hail reports today, and at this point, I think it might be a little bit lower than that. Since we've seen a little bit of weakening here since that new warning got issued. So again, just continuing to track things here, continuing to give you guys the very latest to protect you, your friends, your family here. I know it's just really important to do all that. I just try to give you the latest here, obviously, on what's going on in the ongoing weather scenarios. So, just thanks so much here for tuning in for now. I think we're going to wrap it, but we'll jump back in if we need to. Again, this current warning does remain in effect till 6 o'clock. Still be careful here. It doesn't look quite as intense here as it did on our velocity scans. I mean, just that one scan before. I mean, you're seeing that yellow indicating the stronger winds, but still got to be careful there, obviously. You just never know what can happen as we're in these summertime patterns. Shouldn't be too crazy, but again, always watching it for you here in the Weather Center. Again, I'll be back as conditions warrant, but just stay safe out there as we're looking toward that I-95 corridor. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect till 6 o'clock for portions of Nassau, Brantley, Camden, and Glenn counties. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts could be a possibility in there. And then we just did get a flood advisory now for portions of Nassau and Camden till 7:30. And got to watch out for some of those urban and small stream flooding issues. So just keep that on mind. We'll be back here as needed.